Hi YouTube. Today we'll be discussing the Soft Matte Complete Foundation from NARS. It's not actually out yet, but I got my hands on it, so stay tuned. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to do this video today. If you are new to my channel, hi, I am the ThesPNation. I am an OG YouTuber that reviews primarily luxury beauty all the time. And with that said, I would really appreciate it if you would choose to subscribe to my channel and definitely hit that like button, and most importantly, turn on those notification bells just so that you're aware every time I have a video out. Let me tell you this story, honey. So as some of you may be aware, NARS is coming out with a new foundation, and I've seen a handful of reviews. I haven't seen anyone that's a person of color just yet, but I have seen people who've received PR packages, showing several foundations that they received. And I also went to the Sephora site just to be curious and see if it was on there. It's on there right now, but all the shades are all X'd out, which it would suggest to me that they have already sold out in pre-order, and it notes that it's coming out September the 1st. However, I do have a secret.
I worship the devil.
No, not that. Of course not, darling. Mother doesn't roll that way. But my secret is that more so a tip/secret, so listen closely. Make sure that you're always kind to your salespeople. Anyone that you deal with in a Sephora, Ulta, what have you. Make sure you really get kind of chummy with them, get really good with them, because you may get access to things that probably shouldn't be released just yet. So I was able to snag this foundation a bit early.
Take that, Sephora.com.
So those of you who have supported me for quite some time, you're fully aware of my love for NARS. I used NARS Sheer Glow well over 10 years. I think I used it when it launched. I'm not sure when it actually came out. I feel like it came out in 2010. Don't hold me to that, but I know that's when I purchased it originally. So I have used this foundation for 10 years. And, over the years, I have used every foundation that they've ever made. And right now, these are just 3 of the ones that I have that are current foundations, I believe, on their website. But I have tried everything. They're tinted moisturizers, all this and that, right? So these shades, I have always used Macao. I have always felt that Macao is like this, medium deep, warm yellow undertone shade. However, I decided to look at the NARS website just to see one day, how do they even describe Macao? And Macao is described as having an olive undertone. So I've been using this foundation, or actually every foundation that NARS has ever made, in the shade Macao when I don't even have an olive undertone. So I just decided to see, what would actually be my, my shade if I actually found something that was a golden undertone. So then I found another shade. So I just decided to pick up both Macao and to pick up the new shade that I have never tried from NARS, just to see what would be the difference. So over here, of course, is Macao, and over here is the new shade that, according to the website, should work for me very well, which is known as Marquises. Now, when I called Sephora and I spoke to that girl, she asked me, what shade would you like for me to put on hold? So I said, oh yeah, put down Macao, and I need that other shade, Marquises. Ciao, I don't speak French. Puedo hablar español e inglés, pero francés? No. I don't do that. My father spoke French, actually, and, he tried to teach it to me. He would do the whole Frere Jacques thing. I don't even know what he was talking about. I ain't got time for that. He would do that. All I know is, je m'appelle, c'est si bon, c'est la vie, voulez-vous que... No, that's not even right. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi, c'est soir, bonsoir. That's about all I know, so y'all just gonna have to accept my pronunciation of this. So this is Marquise. I'm going to start and prime my skin with the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer, which is just awesome. If you don't have it, oh my god, you need to get it. I'm going to leave links down below for everything that I put on my face. Of course, these are affiliate links. I receive a small commission if you actually purchase anything. Truly appreciate it. It helps the channel. Y'all, I spend my own money on everything that you see. This is my money. And I mean, this isn't PR. This isn't free. So if anything you can do, if you would love to purchase something, that I'm talking about, every little bit helps this channel. And God knows when I will ever, see, the fruits of the labor, or my labor from, having affiliate links. But I would truly appreciate it if you guys would check it out. You don't have to. You can definitely not click the link. You can definitely go to your own browser and purchase it that way. But again, it helps the channel, in addition to, of course, liking the video, sharing videos, things like that, because we got to get this rolling. And, I want things to be on and popping on this channel. Of course, it leaves an ashy cast. I mean, it has sunscreen in it, I believe. I would guess it's titanium dioxide. Don't hold me to that. But, you know, it has sunscreen, so of course, it's going to leave an ashy cast on brown skin. And that's okay because, again, you know, I'm putting foundation over it. It's all about the finish and how it makes my skin look so good underneath makeup, in addition to, you know, providing longevity and true color for everything I put on top. So here's the new foundation from NARS, the Soft Matte Complete Foundation. This is unlike, you know, previous foundations where, you know, it's in glass, you know, something like that. This is actually in a squeezy tube, so it's a soft plastic. As previously mentioned, I did purchase 2 different shades, my beloved Macao, and of course the new shade Marquises, well, new for me anyway. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong anyway, but y'all gonna have to accept my French today, okay? Marquises. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these on the back of my hand just so that you can take a closer look. Here's the shade Macao that I've used for 10 years, and per Sephora, it states that it's for medium dark to dark skin with olive undertones. And here we have the shade Marquise, which is for medium dark to dark skin with golden undertones. Honestly, they both look good to me. So of course, because I've used Macao for so long, I will be applying this foundation in the shade Marquise. Off the bat, I can tell you just from feeling the foundation, it feels very concentrated, so this is obviously a fuller coverage foundation. This is definitely a full coverage foundation with a matte finish. I've noticed that I'm able to pull off olive undertones as well, even though I do have a lot of gold in my skin. And of course, you know, olive's not too far off, so works for me. It's like some stunning revelation for me to be using a shade different than Macao. I should also note that I'm using a very small amount of this because, again, this is a full coverage, and like I said, it feels really thick in terms of the texture, so you don't really need to use a lot because this spreads really well. This is covering my 5 o'clock shadow like nobody's business. This is definitely a perfect match for me, and I don't know if you can see this on camera, but my skin is like matte. And in case you are unaware, I do have normal skin, so I can get away with wearing just about any foundation. Doesn't matter what the type of finish is. I have a lot of different finishes just because, you know, I like foundations are something that, you know, changes with my mood, where I'm going, what I want. So, cool with me. Coverage is just crazy. This is like high coverage. As usual, I'm just going to take a brush and blend out around my head, my beard. This is literally a dead-on match for me. And it's full coverage, but it looks very natural on the skin. So it doesn't look heavy, cakey, none of that. Just my skin looks overly flawless. It's like that girl got a secret. And while I'm blending away, I will go ahead and go in with a bronzer. So I will be using the Air Flash bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury in shade 3, also known as Tan. Of course, if you have not seen my videos on those, I'm going to leave links for the video solely about this bronzer, along with my video comparing 5 different bronzers. Or actually 3 different bronzers, 5 different shades. I decided to use this bronzer with it because this is a matte bronzer, so it kind of just goes along with the story here. See that? It's just a whisper. I love that. You should also be able to notice that I have used no, radiant products, nothing that's glowy. My skin's still, reflecting off of light. It still, gives me a bit of a glow, without, actually applying anything radiant just yet. So I am liking this. For concealer, I'm going to use the Matte Velvet Skin from Makeup Forever in shade 5.2. And just like the bronzer and the foundation, this concealer also has a matte finish. So it will be interesting to see how these products marry. This concealer also is the bomb, la bomba, okay? And it is a full coverage as well. I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out. I haven't used any setting powders or anything yet. Like, I don't even know if I need one. Like, this is all, like, it all goes together very well. This is looking very good in person. For my brows, I'm just going to do a little touch up with the Brow Blade from Urban Decay in the shade Blackout. I like the way my brows are naturally, so I'm not going to really do much to them. And since I can't find any blushes at all, once again, I'm going to use my Laura Mercier blush in the shade Grapefruit. And guys, between you and I don't really think you need a setting powder for this at all, just because this is like a super matte foundation and it's awesome. But I will go ahead and put a little bit of setting powder on top. So I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier translucent powder in the shade Honey. And don't even ask if I'm going to do a video about this because you know I got you. It's coming. Now I'm just going to dust off any excess powder on my face. For mascara, I'll be going in with the Pat McGrath Dark Star. And as a final touch, I'll be using the Airbrush Flawless Spray from Charlotte Tilbury, which, again, it's fabulous. Okay guys, so let's talk about it. The NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation comes in 34 different shades, retails for $40, and instead of being a standard 1 ounce, this is 1.5 fluid ounces. Per Sephora, the Soft Matte Complete Foundation is a full coverage, transfer-proof, oxidation-resistant foundation that lasts for 16 hours with a natural looking matte finish. The coverage is full, finish is matte, formulation is liquid. It's also for all skin types. They also go on to state that it's humidity-proof, transfer-proof, sweat-proof, and is formulated with microalgae and biohyaluronic acid to help absorb excess sebum while keeping skin hydrated. This foundation also contains oil-absorbing powders that create a smooth second skin finish. This particular foundation, with regards to the claims, it's definitely going to give you a matte finish. I do find it a bit interesting that, they call it a soft matte. As far as the name is concerned, it's called Soft Matte Complete Foundation, but this is definitely not a soft matte finish. This is definitely a true matte foundation. However, I'm not sure if it's just because of my lighting. I don't know if it's just because of my skin underneath. I don't know, but I feel that I still get a bit of a soft glow. So I get more of a soft matte type of look on my skin, which is interesting, but it's still overly, when you apply it, it definitely obviously is a matte foundation. It's also, they claim that it's a full coverage foundation. It is 100% a full coverage foundation. This is very concentrated. I think that it's really awesome that, this is 1.5 ounces and it's only $40, guys. Like, the price is insane to me. I think it's just very odd that, it would be this full coverage foundation and it's coming from a luxury brand and then it's $40. So that's crazy because there are other foundations, they have $47, $49 foundations that are 1 ounce. So that's really nice to see. As far as the shade range is concerned, I do find it interesting that they only have 34 shades versus their standard 40 that they normally have. Just because NARS is a brand that, Black people of color, we can actually go to, we've been able to go to for a number of years because they always have been inclusive. They've always, included a wide range of skin tones, as far as, when they actually release a foundation. So that is a bit interesting because they have other foundations that, have the standard 40 shades. And of course, you can go to your Bobbi Brown, you can go to your Estee Lauder, Lancome. There's plenty of brands that do it, but NARS has been known to do it for quite some time. So I find it interesting that they only offer 34 as opposed to 40 shades. I don't know if they're going to expand that, but that is, a bit interesting and a bit let down, depending on your skin tone, because you may not be able to wear this foundation. Though this foundation is a full coverage foundation, I don't feel this on my skin at all. It is definitely very concentrated, but as far as, when you actually feel it, when you're actually pumping it out, it feels very concentrated, but once you apply it to the skin, you don't feel it at all on your face. My face is not cracked. There's no drying up of my face. There's no, cracking into my stubble or 5 o'clock shadow, and I always do that stubble test with every foundation because if a foundation starts to bead up around that area, then I know that it's not a foundation that I can use. So this, like all of their previous foundations, it definitely passes the test, which is great. And as far as me using the shade Marquises instead of using Macao, which I've used for 10 years, it is really interesting that this actually looks really good and this looks more so like something that I should be wearing from NARS. But again, Macao, it looks really good. I have always worn Macao, so that's why I bought it anyway. I just went ahead and just bought both. If you want me to do a video showing you how this looks on my face in Macao, maybe I can do like a short video, something like that, just like a really quick demo, just showing how this shade looks on my skin, because again, I've worn Macao for a long time, and so, it's really interesting to use a different shade in NARS, and now it makes me want to rebuy every foundation they have, especially Sheer Glow in the new shade Marquise, just because, I want to see what it looks like, and it's not a new shade, it's just new to me. Sephora.com also states that this is a foundation designed for all skin types. Now, I don't know about that, just because if you're someone who's very dry, you may not like this foundation. Now, again, I have normal skin, so I don't really, deal with, any issues with foundations, except for, if a finish is just a mess or, if the foundation just absolutely sucks. That's a different situation, but in terms of, the actual finish and knowing, is this for my skin type, I don't have those problems. So I would think someone with a drier skin type, you may not like this, and you probably stay far away from anything with a matte finish. So I would say this foundation is definitely for someone who is combination to oily, or very oily. I would say that, but I wouldn't say, maybe if you're combo, you may want to put this, you may want to get this foundation. This definitely would be a foundation for you. If you're someone who, is, you have that particular skin type, and if you happen to have problematic skin, acneic skin, if you have blemishes, anything like that, this foundation will cover it up very easily because it is truly a full coverage foundation. know, I'm not saying it's like Dermablend or something, you know, where it's like crazy amount of coverage, but this is a true, definitely a true full coverage foundation. So you will, you know, be very pleased. I don't, you know, anticipate, you know, if you actually purchase this, that, you know, there's not something that's like, you know, unless you're trying to cover a tattoo or something, like, I don't know, like some elaborate dark tattoo. I don't know how you wouldn't be able to conceal this, you know, with this. You could use this also as foundation. So if you wanted to buy, for whatever reason, if you wanted to buy a lighter shade, you probably have a 1.5 ounce concealer as well. So that may be something to concealer. That may be something to consider, just because concealers are, you know, around the $40 price point, especially in the luxury world. So you may want to consider that. But again, like I showed you guys and told you guys, the Makeup Forever concealer, it's only $27 and it is the bomb, y'all. Like, they're not paying me to say this. Like, I bought this myself. That concealer has really impressed me. It may be the best concealer of 2020 for me. That's a whole nother conversation. Overall, highly recommend this foundation. Looks absolutely beautiful. Makes the skin flawless. It's a gorgeous matte full coverage foundation. Could also be doubled as a concealer. This foundation looks amazing. I am very impressed with this. I previously tested it out and I was blown away with just, you know, the longevity of it, how it, you know, worked and performed throughout the day. Very pleased with this foundation. And again, I love that it's a full coverage foundation. You know, it's a full coverage matte foundation that does not crackle over my face, you know, and it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't, you know, you don't feel it on your face at all, and it makes your skin just look flawless and matte. And again, every product that I used on my face, which with exception to the blush that I put on from Laura Mercier, everything else that I put on my face had a matte finish. So overall, you're seeing, you know, a matte face. And for it to look like this, I am pleased. I am blown away. Per the Sephora site, it states that this launches on September the 1st, so you can't actually purchase it right now. All of the shades on the product page are all X'd out, and I don't know if they've zeroed out the inventory just so that, you know, nothing is allocated until, you know, the actual launch date. But what I will do is I will leave a link to Sephora. Of course, it's an affiliate link. You don't have to use it. You can, you know, go on your own browser and, you know, go ahead and purchase it that way. But I will leave a link so that, you know, you guys can go to the Sephora site and make a purchase when it's available. But again, you know, I think I may actually revisit this foundation when it launches, and, you know, I can go ahead and show you how the shade Macao looks on my face as opposed to the shade I'm wearing right now. Again, September the 1st, I believe, is the official launch date. So stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think of how this foundation looks. Do you plan on getting this? Do you plan on checking it out when it launches? Feel free to comment below. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with a whole lot more, guys. Bye.